What if I told you that a single thought, just one, can physically change your brain? Not motivation, not inspiration quotes, real science. Right now, as you're watching this video, your brain is constantly reshaping itself. Every thought you think leaves a trace. Some thoughts strengthen your brain, others quietly drain it. And here's the truth most people never hear. Your brain does not care if a thought is true or false. It only cares if you repeat it. That's where positive thinking becomes powerful, not emotionally, but biologically. In this video, you will discover how thoughts rewire your brain, what happens inside your brain when you think positively, why negative thinking feels automatic, and how small mental shifts create long-term brain changes. Stay with me, because the final sections will show you how to train your brain step by step without forcing positivity or pretending everything is perfect. Let's begin. Section 1. Your brain is not fixed. For a long time, scientists believed the brain stopped changing after childhood. That belief was wrong. Today, neuroscience confirms something incredible. Your brain can change at any age. This ability is called neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity means your brain builds new connections, strengthens useful pathways, weakens unused ones. Every thought you repeat sends a signal. Repeated signals become habits. Habits become brain structure. So when people say, "I'm just wired this way," science says, "No, you trained yourself that way." And the good news? You can retrain your brain. Section 2. What a thought actually is. Let's simplify something complex. A thought is not just an idea. A thought is an electrical and chemical event in your brain. When you think, neurons activate, chemicals release, pathways light up. Now here's the key principle. Neurons that fire together wire together. That means repeated positive thoughts strengthen supportive brain circuits. Repeated negative thoughts strengthen stress-based circuits. Your brain does not judge thoughts. It records them. This is why thinking patterns matter more than occasional thoughts. Section 3. Why negative thinking feels natural. If positive thinking is so powerful, why is negativity easier? Because your brain evolved for survival. Thousands of years ago, noticing danger kept humans alive. Overthinking risks had value. Your brain still carries that survival bias. This creates over-focusing on problems, remembering negative experiences more strongly, expecting worst-case scenarios. This is not weakness. It's outdated programming. Positive thinking doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means updating your mental software. Section 4. Positive thinking versus realistic thinking. Let's clear a major misunderstanding. Positive thinking is not pretending problems don't exist, forcing happiness, ignoring challenges. True positive thinking is choosing constructive interpretations, focusing on solutions instead of fear, training your attention deliberately. Your brain believes what you repeatedly focus on, not because it's true, but because it's familiar. Section 5. Chemical effects of positive thoughts. When you think positively, your brain releases calming chemicals. Stress-related chemicals reduce. Mental clarity improves. Over time, this creates better emotional regulation, improved focus, increased mental resilience. Positive thinking isn't a mood. It's a biological state. And states can be trained. Section 6. Small thoughts, big brain changes. Here's something most people miss. You don't need massive positivity. You need consistent direction. A small positive thought repeated daily builds neural strength, reduces mental resistance, gradually changes emotional responses. Your brain responds to frequency, not intensity. Part 1. Closing. So far, you've learned your brain constantly rewires. Thoughts physically shape neural pathways. Negative thinking is learned, not permanent. Positive thinking works through biology, not belief. In Part 2, we will go deeper into how positive thinking affects memory and focus, The connection between thoughts and brain performance. Why your inner dialogue controls your mental energy. Section 7. How positive thinking improves focus. Let's talk about focus. Most people believe focus depends on discipline or willpower, but neuroscience shows something different. Focus is controlled by emotional safety inside the brain. When your brain feels overwhelmed, attention scatters, memory weakens, decision-making slows down. Negative thinking keeps the brain in a low-level alert state. Positive thinking does the opposite. When you think positively, mental noise decreases, brain energy becomes available, attention naturally sharpens. This is why calm, optimistic thinkers often appear more focused, not because they try harder, but because their brain is less distracted. Section 8. The brain and inner dialogue. Every day, your brain listens to one voice more than any other. Your own. This inner dialogue shapes confidence, focus, mental endurance. Your brain treats self-talk as instruction. When your inner voice says, "This is difficult, but I can learn," your brain responds with engagement, problem-solving mode, patience. When your inner voice says, "This is impossible," your brain responds by shutting down effort. Positive thinking is not about hype, it's about directional language. Section 9. Repetition builds brain identity. Your brain doesn't know who you are. It learns who you are from repetition. Repeated thoughts become mental habits, emotional identity, automatic reactions. If you repeatedly think, "I handle challenges well," your brain adapts to support that belief. This is how thinking becomes identity. Section 10. Positive thinking and memory formation. Memory is emotional. The brain stores information more easily when stress is low, emotional balance exists. Positive thinking creates an internal environment where memory improves naturally. This is why people who maintain optimistic thinking learn faster, recall information more clearly, adapt more easily. Your brain remembers best when it feels safe. Section 11. Attention goes where thinking flows. Your attention follows your thoughts. If your thoughts focus on possibilities, attention expands. Limitations, attention narrows. Positive thinking widens perception. You begin noticing opportunities, options, patterns you missed before. This is not imagination, it's perception training. Section 12. Why positive thinking increases mental energy. Mental fatigue is not always from effort. It's often from internal resistance. Negative thinking creates friction, overthinking, doubt, mental tension. Positive thinking reduces internal resistance. This frees up mental energy. That's why people who think positively often appear more consistent, less strained, more mentally present. Section 13. The brain learns what you practice. Your brain is a practice-based system. It strengthens what you repeat, what you focus on, what you emotionally reinforce. Positive thinking is a daily mental practice, not perfection. Consistency. Part 2. Closing. So now you understand how positive thinking improves focus, why inner dialogue directs brain behavior, how repetition shapes identity, why optimism increases mental energy. In Part 3, we will explore how positive thinking changes emotional regulation, the brain's stress response transformation, why calm thinkers make better decisions. Section 14. How positive thinking regulates emotions. Emotions are not random. They are signals created by the brain to guide behavior. When negative thinking, emotions become intense, reactions become fast, control decreases. Positive thinking creates emotional regulation. This does not mean suppressing emotions. It means processing them calmly. Your brain shifts from reaction mode to response mode. That's the difference between reacting automatically, responding intentionally. Section 15. The brain's stress response and positive thoughts. Stress is controlled by perception. When the brain perceives danger, Heart rate increases. Muscles tense. Thinking narrows. Positive thinking changes perception. The brain begins to interpret challenges as manageable. This reduces unnecessary stress activation. Over time, your brain learns not every challenge is a threat. This retraining creates long-term emotional stability. Section 16. Why calm thinkers make better decisions. Decision-making requires clarity, patience, perspective. Negative thinking limits these. Positive thinking creates mental space. When emotions are regulated, decisions improve, judgment becomes balanced, mistakes decrease. This is why calm thinkers appear wiser, not because they know more, but because their brain is clearer. Section 17. Positive thinking and self-trust. Self-trust is a brain process. It develops when you interpret experiences positively. You reinforce capability instead of doubt. Positive thinking strengthens internal trust signals. Your brain starts believing, I can handle outcomes. This reduces hesitation and improves confidence naturally. Section 18. How positive thinking affects long-term brain health. Consistent positive thinking reduces mental overload, supports emotional balance, encourages adaptive thinking. Over time, the brain becomes more flexible, less reactive, more resilient. This is not instant, it's cumulative. Section 19. Small thought shifts create big neural changes. You don't need dramatic affirmations. Small thought shifts are enough. Instead of, this is stressful, think, this is manageable. Instead of, I can't do this, think, I'll take the next step. Your brain responds immediately to these shifts. Neural pathways begin to adjust. Section 20. Positive thinking as a daily brain routine. Positive thinking works best when it's simple, repeated, practical, not forced optimism. Just intentional framing. This builds a stable mental routine that the brain relies on. Part 3. Closing. So now you understand how positive thinking regulates emotions, why stress perception matters, how calm thinking improves decisions, how small thought shifts reshape the brain. In Part 4, final part, we will cover practical daily applications, how to train positive thinking naturally, long-term mindset transformation, a powerful closing for viewers. Section 21. How to train positive thinking naturally. Positive thinking is not forced behavior. It is trained, just like a habit. The brain learns through repetition, not intensity. This means you don't need extreme motivation. You don't need perfect consistency. You don't need to feel positive all the time. You only need direction. Each time you gently redirect your thoughts, your brain adapts. Training happens quietly. Section 22. The role of awareness in mental transformation. Awareness is the starting point of change. You don't need to control every thought. You need to notice patterns. When awareness increases, automatic reactions slow down, conscious choices increase, emotional clarity improves. Positive thinking begins with noticing, how am I interpreting this moment? That single question changes brain activity. Section 23. How positive thinking improves daily energy. Mental energy is limited. Negative thinking drains it quickly. Positive thinking conserves energy by reducing unnecessary mental loops, simplifying internal dialogue, increasing emotional efficiency. Your brain stops fighting itself. This creates a steady mental flow throughout the day. Section 24. Why consistency matters more than intensity. Big mindset changes do not come from big moments. They come from small, consistent adjustments. Your brain prefers familiarity. Daily repetition builds predictability, safety, confidence. This is why calm consistency outperforms sudden effort. Section 25. Positive thinking during challenging moments. Positive thinking is most powerful when situations feel uncomfortable, not because it removes difficulty, but because it reduces internal resistance. Instead of asking, why is this happening? Try. What's the next useful step? This keeps your brain engaged instead of overwhelmed. Section 26. How your brain learns from interpretation. Events do not teach the brain. Interpretations do. Two people experience the same situation. Their outcomes differ based on interpretation. Positive thinking improves learning by focusing on growth, reducing self-criticism, increasing adaptability. This rewires experience into strength. Section 27. The long-term compound effect on mindset. Positive thinking compounds over time. Each day builds on the last. Gradually, emotional reactions soften. Thought clarity improves. Decision-making stabilizes. You don't notice the change daily. But months later, the difference is undeniable. Section 28. Positive thinking and personal identity. Eventually, thinking patterns shape identity. You stop trying to think positively. You simply become someone who responds calmly, thinks clearly, adjusts constructively. This identity shift is permanent when built naturally. Section 29. Applying this knowledge in real life. You can apply positive thinking to work situations, personal growth, communication, daily routines. Start small. Stay consistent. Let your brain do the rest. Section 30. Final integration. How everything connects. Let's connect everything. Thoughts shape perception. Perception shapes brain activity. Brain activity shapes behavior. Behavior shapes outcomes. Positive thinking improves the entire system. Final closing. Positive thinking is not about ignoring reality. It is about interpreting reality in a way that supports growth, clarity, and stability. When you change how your brain interprets the world, you change how you experience life. If you found value in this video, subscribe for more psychology-based content designed for clarity, focus, and personal development. Remember, your brain learns from what you repeat. Choose thoughts that help it grow. Thank you for watching.